Alrighty then.
Love, you feeling good?
I just poured my drink. I haven't taken a sip yet.
Oh, we'll get on that.
I shall.
Get on that. We are in the outdoor studio if you're not watching on YouTube or Rumble. But it's, what was it, 52 degrees this morning?
Yeah, it was really nice.
I actually put a hooded sweatshirt on for a little bit.
Cheers.
Salute, love. What do you enjoy? You're back on.
I'm back to the black.
You're back on it, love. Sweet
It's just that time of year.
Sweet Paulie, why? Why does this taste so good?
It does.
Yeah, well, I guess all year is that time of year for me.
For you, yeah.
But
never waver.
No, I'm all in, love. I'm all in or all out. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So 6 dogs. Duke, he's 3-legged. You didn't really see what happened to him today?
I didn't. I think he slipped on the floor. Which he has horrible. He has a CCL injury.
Yeah.
On both knees and serious arthritis, and he did something to his left knee today.
Yeah, he's like kind of barely. He's standing 3-legged out there now.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond all that, forget about the cancer. Like I was going to say, his knees aren't good to begin with. Poor guy.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't want to. Oh, now he's peeing on the holding line. Love, this is the Pitboss podcast brought to you by our very good friends at Molly's Place Sporting Goods. This weekend is the Molly's Maryland Outdoors Festival in Kennedyville, Maryland. Easily found right on Route 213. We're headed up on Thursday to do the, I don't know. When I say it up, what are these dogs doing? When I say VIP, I don't mean it for us. They're doing a VIP customer evening.
Pause me, please.
All right, guys, come on now. Karen yelled at them, and hopefully now they're good. But yes, we're not VIPs, but the VIP clientele and customers of Molly's is coming in from 6 to 8, I think. Did we get any food last year?
I think we did. Yeah, we did. They were handing out hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah,
they were very good too.
Yeah.
Very good.
Why do I always think about food?
Because it's that time of the evening.
I am hungry. What are we having for dinner?
Leftover grilled chicken thighs, burgers, whatever.
They did look really good. But back to Molly's Place Sporting Goods, the Maryland Outdoors Festival this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't know the dates. 20. If I'm going to guess, I'm going to say 25, 26, 27, 28, or something like that. But anyway, it's the last full weekend in September, which I just don't have right on me now. But all the deals and savings, if you can't get to Molly's this weekend, you can get online and take advantage of the savings at mollys.com, MOLLYS.com. So looking forward to that, and we appreciate everyone at Molly's. Are we going to, on the ride up, we're going to stop at the news store in Easton. We're going to do instead of going north and west, we're going to go west and north, and we're going to take I can't say it's going to be a detour from what we normally do, but yeah, going to go check out Molly's Easton. What are you going to get?
I want to look at the QU. I think they had a really nice Grundon. Yeah, sweater, but anyway, we'll see.
Yeah.
Boots. That's what I need.
Boots.
Boots.
That's between there and Kennedyville. Actually, Kennedyville might be your better bet, actually. I don't think I'm going to ramble about the new store for a second. I don't know Tom Beckby line, so I think I'm going to stop and the preview night. I saw it, but I didn't really stop and really absorb what it was or what it is.
It's very nice.
Yeah, but I want to see. There's a green camo poncho shirt that I'd like to get.
Okay.
And I'm thinking about.
Well, that's your new favorite shirt right now. That poncho?
Yeah, I'm wearing the brown camo right now.
Camo,
yeah, man. Yeah. Material stretches. It's lightweight. It's breathable, and it's a really nice shirt. Yes, but the what is it? Fly? What is it? Western Fly, West Fly. Man, there's another brand there that I need to investigate more of.
Okay.
And I'd like to get a pair of those shorts.
Yeah.
What Fly? Something Fly. Anyway.
No, sorry.
Yeah, and specifically check out Kuyu. So we'll see what do I not need. And speaking of needing, you just got on me a little bit about just all the junk that's out in the shop, and we don't really need more things. And we ordered more shirts today, and you said, what did you call me?
Yeah, we won't say that, but...
Oh, what? It wasn't anything bad.
Oh, I think it was.
Oh, I didn't. I took it as a compliment.
I said, you're the closiest MF ever.
I took all those words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has more clothes than me. Like, way, way more clothes. Like, it spews out into our bedroom. More clothes.
Well, anyway, that we're stopping at Molly's Easton. Easily found off Route 322 on Marlboro Avenue, but as we head up to Kennedyville. So, up next is Crabs to Go. Love it. They got the NFL special going on. We could get it tonight.
And we got it. When
2 Sundays ago.
Oh, it was so good.
It really was good. Maybe we just hadn't had it in forever, but
the shrimp were really good.
Yeah. Well, it's
peeled easy. I loved easy peeling shrimp.
Look at those.
Yes, that would be beautiful in our yard.
If we had the whole yard fenced, a truck with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, about 12 hay bales that are rolled. I mean, we could have a couple of those in the yard and run marks off of them.
Oh my gosh, Elmo would be on top of it all the time.
Like a damn goat.
He would.
Crabs to Go is the NFL special. Or any game day, you can buy 2 pounds, either steamed or raw, and you get the 3rd pound for free. So, and I still got a little window to get some cold crabs.
Yeah.
So next time they have that, even though we're super, super busy right now.
Oh, man, we're running out of time.
Well, don't freak me out. Don't freak me out. Crabs to Go. We appreciate everyone at Crabs to Go. Easily found on Route 50 and Route 589 in West Ocean City, Maryland, and or Berlin. Up next, Man's Best Kennel, Gunner Kennel. I'm told that quite possibly we will have a new Gunner vest that's going to head to Canada with us. So I'm excited about that. You asked me questions about it. Mm-hmm. And was it? Go ahead. Come on, Scooter.
Well, I think Geoff was wondering, if it's adjustable.
See, I thought he sent me the picture of it, though. But to me, it looked very adjustable. I saw a picture of it somewhere, so I'm not going to hold my breath on that. But if you want to check them out, subscribe, get on their newsletter, gunner.com, Man's Best Kennel, Man's Best Bumper, and possibly Man's Best...
No, dog's best.
Yeah, what am I saying?
Best.
Dogs, but yeah, whatever. Say it again for me, love, please.
Dog's best, dog best.
Yeah, that's gunner.com. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to have as we head to Canada, because definitely with Troy Portner on Mitchell's Bay, Lake St. Clair, he invited Scoter to come and retrieve some ducks, so hopefully she's not too big of an asshole. She is a master hunter now.
She is.
Maybe just by a hair, she's a master hunter. I think she'll have fun.
She does.
I think she'll have fun. And
I'm just worried about how many beach towels I need to take for her to dry her off in between.
Oh, no.
I know you would tell me. No, don't worry about that.
Oh, I thought you meant like a divan. Like if we need to get some towels.
On the boat.
Oh, no. No, she'll be fine.
Yeah, there we go.
Especially she can get out of the water. I was listening to Bob Bones today, and he was just talking about even if the water's, let's say the water's 70 degrees, but if your dogs cannot get out of that water, like basically, 101, 102 degree body temperature, in 70 degree water, your dog can go get hyperthermic, especially if it can never get out of the water and get dry. Mm-hmm. So yes, but no, she'll be able to get out, and I don't know. If you want to bring towels, I don't care.
Oh, actually, I will.
Well, what?
At least for me, anyway.
Who do I? We trained with Megan. She has like those dog chamois things.
Yeah.
That means your hands are going to get wet too.
I know.
Then you're going to get cold.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not an experienced hunter, so
Gunner
I
Kennels.
have no idea.
The new Gunner vest is coming. Hopefully that we have it and it arrives before we leave, but that's yet to be seen. So Gunner.com. We appreciate everyone at Gunner. Up next is Duckwater Boats. Steve Hoover, all the way from New Philadelphia, Ohio. We appreciate you, Steve Hoover. hi.lojck.com. That's his new webpage, hi-lowjack.com and or duckwaterboats.com. So I've been doing a couple of videos for him when he quick phone videos, and I edit them. What are they doing? Just having fun.
Being puppies.
Yeah, edit the videos for him, and Steve, we appreciate you. So thank you very much. If you're looking for a new duck boat, check out duckwaterboats.com. Punishing the docks and the rocks. Up next, John Paul just got a hold of me the other day about his hunt, and I was thinking they're really in November, to be honest with you, but it's going to be late October. But Duck Blind Bistro, the ultimate outdoor oven. Do I tell people that the oven's been in the boat all summer long, and I finally got it out for you to scrub on it?
It's been scrubbed.
You got her scrubbed up and clean?
Mm-hmm.
Go on and check them out. Duck Blind Bistro for the ultimate outdoor oven. We love it.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
And we would love to eat the biscuits out of it. And we're not trying to do biscuits right this minute. So.
Yeah.
But it's all good. Yes?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my gosh, so delicious.
It will be. So all these things. Well, Crabs Ago is not really going to be heading north with us. Molly's, in general, will be heading north with us. Gunner Kennels, because T350 is outfitted with Gunner Kennels. Plus, we do have some Gunner bumpers. Plus, if we get the vest, they're headed up with us. Duckwater Boats, nothing's really headed north with us to Canada with Steve. But there's a possibility, an inkling that maybe, now I think this would be really fun, that we could possibly shoot a sea duck out of I think it's a 21 or a 23 Duckwater, but on PEI. So we'll see how that works out. But the Duck Blind Bistro is going with us, and the next partner of the Pitboss podcast, brought to you by Molly's Place Sporting Goods, is Turtlebox. TurtleboxAudio.com. We'll take at least two, right?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Yeah, Turtlebox. I meant it died. The white one died on me today. I didn't plug the damn thing in.
Okay.
So. But anyway, I've been burning it up. Burning the new iPhone battery up, evidently. As well as burning up the ultimate Bluetooth speaker, Live Loud. It is TurtleboxAudio.com. We appreciate everyone at Turtlebox. Turtlebox will be headed north of the border with us. Up next, since 2010, DMAX, DEEMAXX.com. We have had on the 25-foot boat and now currently the world's largest duck boat, the Ocean 32, on two different Loadmaster trailers. We had all DMAX stainless steel brake components on both boat trailers. What am I watching?
It's like the witching hour. It's the same as kids. Like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock is when they start to go crazy.
DMAX, I don't know. I don't know we need it because our camper is so small. If the camper was bigger, I'd say let's do disc brakes on the camper, but it's a little baby camper. Mm-hmm. I don't think we really need it. But I've been watching all the social content that they have of double axle fifth wheel and triple axle fifth wheel travel trailers, campers, RVs going over to DMAX disc brakes from the electric that they have. So if you are looking for dependable disc brakes, whether on your camper, RV, or specifically in my case, our case, love, as I watch Mash.
Proof is in hide mode. So.
Yeah. He's a dink. And Scoter's sitting in the high chair, just watching. Check out DMAX, DEEMAXX.com. Up next, which I have not used in the past week or so because actually I used it when I judged the Open in New Jersey 2 weekends ago, but we don't dog train anymore. Well, we do. I have been. We do simple drills, not full blown training. We do simple drills, maybe not so simple, but we do drills that we don't really map it out, right? Mm-hmm. But huntproof.app. You can log your waterfowl hunts. You can log your dog training. You can log your turkeys hunts, and now you can log your upland hunt. Cobra Maverick Geoff Wood on PEI, he just got it, so I'm curious to see when he uses it this year how he likes it. So yeah, but check him out, huntproof.app, huntproof.app. Pitboss Waterfowl, thinking of you, we are. Still got those December dates. I don't know. It's kind of a jacked up situation. Hunt's been sold for over 3 years. The 3-day hunt has been sold for over a year, and now close to this, they're from Texas, and they would like to try to roll it over next year, but they understand that their deposit is non-refundable, so I'm trying to fill those dates for them as a courtesy. And they tell me if I don't fill them, they're going to be here anyway, so I'm kind of confused then to what the problem is. But
what is the date again?
December 16th. 17th and 18th. If I had to say, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But definitely December 16th, 17th, and 18th. So, and have Christmas Day open, which I think I think we booked it.
Yeah, I think that's what you'd say.
Yeah, and or look, they would be looking. They would be very open if someone wanted to go Christmas Day with us. That would work too. So, Pitboss Waterfowl, PITBOSS Waterfowl FOWL.com. The new hooded sweatshirts are up on the store. Love, thank you very much. And new hats, paid for them. I haven't seen them yet, so hopefully they make it. And did you actually close the deal today? We had the actually. I keep saying actually, and I got to stop myself. It's just I used to hate speech class, and that's what I feel like I'm doing almost sometimes. But this is like speech class. You're standing up. Anyway, the sweatpants and the sweat shorts are done, so we'll pick them up hopefully tomorrow, if not Wednesday. And then also, did you confirmed the new T-shirts?
No, just waiting for a proof and order estimate, and we'll get that done.
All right. I think I covered all that we needed to cover.
For just basic T-shirts, but we will reveal them when we have them in hand.
I was kind of pleased with myself. My Photoshop skills are not good. Not what I want to mention Scott Moody's name here shortly. Not like his skills, his Photoshop skills, his creativeness. But I was actually kind of proud of myself that I was kind of able to pull that off. And thank you, love. On my MacBook, I have Photoshop. Yay!
Jeff would always go to his old desktop Mac and use Photoshop and then send it to himself. And it was a pain.
So anyway, this will be really nice, especially with traveling, the Canada trip. Should we talk more about the Canada trip you said you wanted to?
A little bit.
Okay, so we leave. We're going to stop at our good friend Bob Owens, Lone Duck Outfitters. Dog Gun Chronicle podcast. I'm sorry. Gun. Anyway, Bob Owens in Paris, New York. Check him out. If you're looking for a new podcast, I listened to 3 of his episodes today. They're on YouTube as well as any of the normal podcast platforms. Hey, remember when I said that my, especially like Damien's, and they sound like they were stoned?
Yeah.
Well, I Googled it real quick, and it says because you have your player turned down.
Wow.
I had it down to 0.8.
That would make sense.
Not full speed. It was 0.8.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny where they were. It's like, really funny because that's what I was
you could really tell.
Yeah, I even
it did
texted him,
sound like stoners.
Yeah, I was like, dude, like you sound like you're hammered. You're high. What's going on? I don't know, man. Everything's good. I was like, well, not on my end. But anyway, I figured that out today. But yes, Bob Owens, Lone Duck podcast, Lone Duck
Chronicles,
Duck Gun Chronicles.
Sorry,
oh,
Bob.
my goodness. Yeah, sorry, Bob. I didn't mean to butcher it, but all these dogs. Enough, guys. Come on. Okay, so we're going to do that just to break the trip up.
Yeah, just stretch the dogs out, get some rest.
Yeah, and I think at the very least we get to say hi to him. Sounds like he's going to be doing something upland hunting, something in there, has somebody up. But at the very least we'll get to say hi to him. So then we head on over and we enter Canada, specifically Ontario. I want to go the Fort Erie Bridge, Peace Bridge at Fort Erie is where I'd like to make our entry, and then drive on over to see Troy Pointner, on over Lake St. Clair and Mitchell's Bay. We're towing the camper, so it's going to be
slightly slower trip.
Well, yeah, and that's why we just kind of want to break it up too with stopping at Bob's. So we're going to hang out 3 or 4 days there. A good 3 days there. Yeah, good 3 days there. Actually, we got an invite. We're going to maybe do a dry field hunt on the first day in, and then we're going to hunt with Troy for 2 days on Lake St. Clair and or Mitchell's Bay. Probably the redheads are going to be a little dirty, but they'll still be cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind getting 1 or 2 men.
We're very limited to when we can go, just because of your season. So yes, we would like a bird in full plumage and be living a season, but it just isn't possible. No.
So from there, we're going to head east, possibly stop. Well, not possibly. We are stopping somewhere along the way. The possibility is doing something with David. I want to say but David Roy at St. Lawrence Outfitters. It's an old joke from way back. No offense to David Roy, but. We have any hockey fans listening? Canadians. It was David. No, it wasn't David. Was it Patrick. My mind is slipping me, love. Patrick Waugh. Patrick Roy, but Patrick Waugh. So I always said David Waugh to a friend. That's no longer with us. But anyway, I digress. Then the next day, we're going to head on over to Rimouski, hang out there. Man, William's sending me pictures every day. They've been killing a nice lineup of Drake white wings today with an eider and with some eider and some some eider common scoter. The day before was more common 50-50 common scoter and eider. The very first picture he sent me this morning was the first bird in band. Shot a band I think 2 days ago. So he says he gets about 40 bands. It would be kind of cool. Mm-hmm. So if they are flying well. I don't want to be greedy, but I'd kind of, as they come in, maybe see if we can see a band on them when they drop the feet.
And then we've got to try and shoot it.
Well, I don't love on the water. They're kind of easy to shoot.
Oh, okay. You're going to wait for it to land. And then we're going to get all kinds of smack and slack about shooting birds on the water. What's it called? Sleuthing?
Sluice. Yeah, sluice.
Yeah, well, we got enough sleuth crap
what
about the Goldeneye.
Headed out in the world's largest duck boat last year, and I had somebody ask me, he's like, hey, man, what's your policy on skillet shots? I'm like, excuse me? Skillet shots. I'm like, I don't, can inform me about this? He's like, yeah, when you shoot them on the water, because they were putting them in a skillet. Like, have at it, man. If we decoy them and it lands, you want to shoot it as long as it's legally, safely, and legally, have at it. So, but I've never heard skillet shot. He said, how you feel about skillet shots? What's your policy on skillet shots? Have at it, man. But I didn't quite understand what a skillet shot was. So we're going to do Rimouski, which I pulled out some of the old D3 DVDs here recently. I hope it's the way that I remember it. You said you're worried.
Yeah.
You said you're worried possibly that maybe it won't be the way I remember it.
Right.
Look, we got to cut the grass again.
Well, I figured that'll be my job this weekend.
Looking at them barking at everybody. But anyway, I hope it is what I remember. It doesn't really matter because it's you and I, and it's new. So you've never been there. Yes, I've been there. You haven't. So however it works out, It's going to be a good time.
Well, it looks beautiful. So.
Yes. And the temperatures were even cooler there this morning.
Yeah, I saw that.
52 here. It's 45 there. Mm-hmm. All right. Then we head on into, actually we headed south just a little bit, into New Brunswick, Woodstock. And we visit with our good friend Matthew Wilson of Maritime Gun Dogs. Waterfowl East Coast Calls. He's got a lot of stuff going on. So we're going to hang out with him. And then we're going to head east to the Birches. Say it again. Birchers. Headed east to the Birches because we've been banned from the place we normally would stay.
Yep. By our own doing with too many dogs.
I kind of feel have I ever been banned from something? I don't know that I have.
He doesn't like it.
I don't ever.
I
honestly,
understand.
Yeah, but I've never been banned from something.
I know.
Anyway, we're headed to the Birchers east.
We're not banned. We can go there. We only can have 2 dogs though.
All right. Well, anyway, we've been banned, so we're going to a new place, and it looks beautiful. It's right on the water. Hopefully, we get that same effect as what we did in the past. So maybe not on the beach. Water's not necessarily a beach, but if you want, we can ride up to that beach too. So all these dogs. So that's what we got going on. Did I cover it?
I think so.
And then make our a comfortable drive home. Not trying to. When I say kill ourselves, I don't mean like literally kill ourselves, but I mean kill ourselves.
We usually try and do it in one straight drive,
yeah,
but we need to stop somewhere.
And we're not going to kill ourselves.
No, we are not.
And I think even got it kind of mapped out. I think I'd like to try to go, like let's say out west of Boston on 90, which we'd be on 90 to Hartford anyway. But I think we're gonna go 90 on over further. I guess we could go back over to Bob Owens, but I was thinking more like Albany, New York, and then turn down and we bypass all of
craziness.
All of that, especially towing the camper.
Yeah.
All of the Connecticut and New York City stuff. So.
Yep.
All right.
I'm excited. I can't wait. We've kind of got our staging prep area with all the stuff that we need to take, which is going to be a lot. A lot.
Maybe too much.
Yes. Always.
And before all this happens, I've got 6 days of sea duck hunting right here in Maryland. So we're preparing for that and trying to get some decoy orders done.
Paint some decoys.
I am painting
Jeff's
decoys.
head's got to be
It's all good.
spinning on his shoulders right now.
This is what happens every year this time, and I kind of like, I don't know that I enjoy it, but I kind of thrive on it, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. All right. I mentioned Scott Moody earlier. Is there anything else you want to say, though?
No.
Okay. I mentioned Scott Moody earlier, and I'm going to say right up front, this is Scott Moody's footage and audio.
Labrador Designs?
Yes.
Okay.
LabradorDesigns.com. Been friends with Scott forever, and he made the original Pitboss logo. I did do a web page way back in the day, but any current day web page Scott has done. If you need a web page done, get a hold of Scott Moody. Follow along. He's an awesome photographer. He's helped me over the years improve my photography. He's the one that actually really got me into photography, to be honest with you. The old Canon 20D. He's the one. He's like, had a little point and shoot Olympus. He's like, why don't you're out every day. Why wouldn't you want to try to take a picture that's quality of a magazine cover? Like, well, sure. He's like, well, this is what you do. I said, yeah, man, I don't know how to shoot that. He said, buy this and buy that. I'll tell you everything else you need to know. So that's the way it's been over the years. We stay, even though we're 2.5 hours, 2:45 apart, we stay in contact pretty much, not daily, but every other day.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, just want to give Scott Moody props because this is something that he recorded. Whoa. This is something he recorded. I did give him my input of like what settings to use on the camera, as well as I edited the video that's on YouTube, and the video, if you're watching on YouTube right now, is what you're going to see from the Havre Decoy Museum. But yeah, I edited the footage. I did one other before, Jimmy Pierce.
Yes.
Yeah, and somebody else.
I remember that.
Yeah, Scott. But Scott's done, he goes down, he has a good relationship with the museum. I did too, especially when I lived, 20 minutes away, which we don't anymore. But again, what I'm trying to stress here is that this is Scott Moody's footage. This is Scott Moody's audio. So Scott Moody, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Scott, S-C-O-T-T, Moody, M-O-O-D-Y. Find him on Facebook. Find him on Instagram. That's all he has, I think. But anyway, hey, how about this? If you don't know Scott Moody and you're a member of Ducks Unlimited, by default, you know Scott Moody because on the cover of this current issue, I think it would be September, October's issue, is Scott Moody's wood duck, Drake wood duck.
Beautiful.
So, yep. So that all that is good. LabradorDesign.com, and this took place. It's it's an afternoon with Bob White of the New Jersey Decoy Collectors Association, held at the Havre Decoy Museum. DecoyMuseum.com is easily found on Giles Street, right on the promenade, right on the water, looking right out on the Susquehanna Flats, where all the market gunning happened, all the sink boxes and the sneak boats and the sculling and all that took place.
It's a beautiful spot.
It is. It's really nice. So check them out too. Havre Decoy Museum, and their webpage is decoymuseum.com. So, anything? Should I add anything?
I don't think so.
All right. Let's check it out. This is an afternoon with Bob Light. All right, let's check it out. This is an afternoon with Bob White at the Havre Decoy Museum that was recorded January 11th of this year, 2025. An afternoon with Bob White at the Havre Decoy Museum, January 11th, 2025.
I want to welcome everyone. It does our heart good to see so many friends from outside the immediate area. This is a bit of a, I don't want to say experiment, it's a bit of a goal of ours to, increase the service area. And this is testimony, the room is testimony that actually works. So you just got to give people some reason to come, right? So we will continue to do that. So I won't say anything other than to recognize Jamie Lloyd, president of the Jersey Club, and he's going to take it from here.
Thanks, Mike.
First of all, I want to thank you all for coming out here, even on a nasty weekend like it is. We have quite a few people that traveled, and we've got a lot of locals here, and we certainly appreciate your support. We really appreciate the museum here having us down here, and we look forward to working with you in any way we can in future exhibits. I think it's a great thing to be doing, and look forward to doing more in the future. If I can introduce the moderators. I guess that's what we'll call ourselves today. We've got Grove Conrad. He's been a long-time collector, duck hunter. He's from Green Bank, New Jersey.
Lower Bank.
I'm sorry, Lower Bank. A real
one of those banks.
Yeah.
Not the First National Bank.
And one of my oldest friends also.
Yeah. But so Grove is a real historian in many different things, but in the decoy world, he does a lot of research, written a lot of articles, very knowledgeable, great storyteller. Over here is Jimmy Allen. Jimmy had the pleasure of being introduced to some of the earliest and best decoy collectors, Johnny Hillman and Summers Headley, and as a young man he got taken under their wing and really introduced them, and he's very fortunate, and we're fortunate to have Jimmy, and he knows a lot of the old stories and a lot of the back when picking was really good. And then our man of the hour is Bob White. I think everybody pretty much knows him. We have the pleasure of knowing him a little bit better than most because he's part of our club. He's a big part of our club. He has really touched a lot of collectors, gunners, with his knowledge. Bob, if you don't know it, he's the most knowledgeable there is in Delaware River style decoys. He's probably one of just a couple left of the old timers that knew the original duck hunters and market gunners and old time carvers. When he was a young man, he had the pleasure of meeting them when they were on their way out or when they were old. So, and Bob has his ability to tell a story and remember a story is second to none. And
we're slipping a little bit now, so bear with me.
We've had the pleasure of hearing the stories, and our club is documented. We've had roundtable meetings over the years, and we've got a lot of stuff on record. So I think we're just going to get started on things. And
get it all. Where do you want to go?
So Bob, I know
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, we've done several roundtable meetings, and we've done some good documentary of your life. But why don't you just start off when you were a small boy and when you first started getting into gunning?
Long time ago.
And your first carvings.
Yeah, I started. Hold on, can you all hear me?
Yeah.
First off, I want to thank you all sincerely. Really, thank you all for coming out. I hope you're not disappointed. I'm really humbled by it. It's nice to know that all my life I did these things, didn't think much of it, but to see that people appreciate it now. But that's where it's getting with all of us, all the contemporary carvers. But I personally really appreciate it. I thank you all, thank the museum. I'm just really humbled by it all. So I'll do the best I can. Probably a lot of you's already heard all this. I've been written about, and it's been mentioned in books, but I'll roughly start from the beginning how it all got started. I started as a young man hunting, like most of you guys that carve. 13 years old. You had to be 14, but I was always older looking for my age. And I said I was 14, but I got my license anyway, and I found a skull boat along the Delaware Drift that somebody punched a hole in. It was just abandoned, so me and my buddies, we fixed it up. I put a blind on it, and I start sculling. And so I needed decoys. So I made these very crude, I often wonder if they're still around, out of cork. And in those days, didn't have any money, of course, where I come. We were all poor, but we didn't know we were poor because we were all poor. We were all in the same situation, but we got by, and so you could get cork down the dumps there. These old refrigerations was insulated by 2-inch cork, so you rip them apart and you had this cork. And then they were just starting to ship vegetables and fruit from California by truck. And they used to have in wooden crates, thin slates, and then in the end, inch pine. Well, they would put them in the back of there was only one supermarket, A&P in those days, and that was free for people to take, and we did it for firewood to start up our cold heaters. So we'd have a wood bin and a coal bin, and that would be my heads. We would glue 2 of those inch pieces together, cut them out with a cooking saw or a straight saw, and start filing. I was always a big rasp guy. These guys, local down the shore, they start with a hatchet. I was a rasp and draw knife guy. But of course, the cork, we had the rasp. So I made crude decoys for a few years, make them, and even back then, believe it or not, I could sell them. Not maybe 50 cents a piece, whatever. But then with that, maybe buy whatever, penny candy. Back then there was penny candy, or played with little nickel machines. So then I got to, we're going to get into the old phase now. I started collecting the old. I had these crude decoys, and that's all I knew was crude decoys, because all the kids in the neighborhood had the same stuff. But I think probably 1958, my good friend come knock. I was living with my mother back then, of course, in Trenton. I grew up in Trenton, and said, "You got to come over to Swick Sports Store. There's this old guy that died, and they're selling his decoys." He said, "You're not going to believe." So I went. He said, "They're $2 a piece, or $20 a dozen." So I went with a little bit of money because I had a little. I was caddying by then. In the early days, I would shine shoes and pick tomatoes for 10 cents an hour. But by then, I was caddying, $5 a double. I was in the money. So I had money, which $5 went a long ways in those days. And I seen these Dawson, which were, now we know, were John English carved, painted by John Dawson. Excellent, great artist, painter. I couldn't believe it. God almighty, look at these things. And then so I picked out 28 of them, 27, the ones that weren't cracked that I could use. And I used them. I was gunning with these Dawson decoys. Now all I knew is I had the best decoys on the river. And then a year or two later, a couple guys come knocking at my door. They found out about it, and they were pickers for Lloyd Johnson. And Lloyd, I found out later, was a big collector. I didn't know anything about collecting. They were going to give me, I paid $2, they were going to give me $4. Man, $4. Huge profit. I took it, sold them, but I always kept a couple. And then finally they kept coming back, buying some, and I start copying some. And I got some right there. I start copying, and I start getting better because I had somebody to copy. And then finally they made the mistake. I said, "What are you doing with these things?" I said, "Well, we're collecting," they said, "their uncle, from my uncle, Lloyd Johnson in Point Pleasant." So I remember that. I said, I got to take a ride down in Point Pleasant. So I find Lloyd, and he said, "You're the guy those Dawsons were coming from." I said, "Yeah, I'm the man." And I'll never forget it. It's funny the things you remember. This was way back, and he had them hanging on the wall. And at the time, I didn't know, but he had Wards was his favorite. He loved Wards. Everybody loves Wards. And he had Shang Wheelers, and they're all hanging on. I thought, people collect it. What's this? They collect these things? All I knew, you're supposed to hunt with them. But I got into it. And he said, "Well, why don't you go up and down the river?" Because no one was picking in our area in that end. And I'll pay you for whatever you get. What are you buying for 50 cents a piece, $1 a piece? I'll give you $2. So I did for years. And then I met Johnny Hillman. Lloyd would never tell me, obviously he wouldn't tell me where Johnny was. And they were best friends. But he didn't want me to sell it, Johnny. I met Birdsall, Point Pleasant Decoys, and then I met Mackie. And I was picking for all of them, and they were great times. The pickings were good. You could go up and down the river either side, and you hit any little town, somebody in that, there was an old timer there that had old decoys that you could buy for $1 a piece, $2 a piece, whatever. And I did for years, and the best part about it was I like talking. It's funny how it ended up now I'm the old guy. I was the young guy now. I love talking to them. They were old guys. They would be staring out, telling me what they did, the numbers they killed, how the meadows used to be. Before the Philly airport, that was all meadow. That, when, 100 years ago. And they remember how their fathers used to tell them. And when you think about it, that's where the Blairs and the decoys that went here and moved up north, that's where they were hunted. And all those Tinnican meadows all around the Philly airport, that's where they were shot over. So I got interested in the history of it. I loved it. And then finally, it dried up. The old timers were gone, and more people got into it. There were more pickers. Everybody got a little educated, and there were less and less and less. And all the time, I was still carving. So then I met my wife and got married in the early 60s, and I got into a family business, which was a flower shop, and that enabled me to go to shows and stuff. So I started doing shows, and I remember back in the early 60s, I was surprised. There's a decoy show. It was up in Syracuse, New York. I went, and I met Summers Headley and Lem Ward and Norris Pratt. And then I was really hooked. Summer said, you got to come down. And I went down, and I met Lem, and of course, Lem and Steve were just the greatest. I always said, and people ask me all the time, and it is a tough one, it's a matter of opinion, who do you think is the best decoy maker ever lived? And if you don't consider age, you just tell me who made the best decoys, I always thought it was Lem Ward. That's just my favorite. Now, the Kroll people, Christ, they would throw tomatoes at me. The Kroll people, it's Kroll, I get it. And your guy down there might be Daddy, Holly might be, I get it, that's okay. But to me, that's the way I feel. But if you want to count age, if you give more points for who was the oldest, it was John English. I mean, I break up thinking about it. He's a guy, I never met him. Of course, he died in 1911. He got me started. Who'd ever thought I'd be here coming from that and coming back up, made my decoy out of cork, because my brother was making them back. My brother's 9 years older, for a third grade project. And who the hell would ever think that would get to this today, because it even gets sweeter as we go on. And I got popular, I start winning shows and going in shows, and I call that little time show business. And I went out, and I think 69 I stopped the show, because the guys got into beautiful stuff, like beautiful acrylics and laminating popsicle sticks together and tongue suppressors and burning. Beautiful. They look real, but not my thing. When they got away from decoys, I didn't go there. I stayed with decoys, and I stayed with that traditional look. But then I also got into collecting. I had at one time, I think everybody, the people back home, I had the best Delaware River collection literally in the world, because I could get them back then. I found 11 Blairs at one shot. I found 60 Englishes. I bought all the Quinn's ring, 60. And you did the same thing with bass stuff. Yeah, so it was, the timing was there. And then I still have people today that said, boy, you were so smart. I was never smart. Never smart. I was never smart. Never a good businessman. It just fell into place. when in 05, 06, decoys start escalating. The price of them was just phenomenal. It was crazy. Every auction, breaking records. And I said to my wife, you know what? I never looked at these things like money, but I'm going to add up what I think I have. And I did. I added it up and I made a little book up and took pictures. And it was over $1 million I thought I had. And I said, I either got to get these insured or I got to sell them. And if anybody knows me, with that choice, I'm going to sell them. They wanted $7,000 a year to sell them. I said, no way, I keep them for 10 years, that's $70,000. I got to pay just to keep these decoys, they're gone. So I sold them, it was the top of the market, and this is where everybody said, you were so, no, I wasn't that smart, it just happened to be that way. I hit it at the top of the market, and I got prices that were scary. And it was my 401k, without knowing it. Because I had a little money too, before that. And I don't need, I mean, I live, anybody knows me, I could live on 30,000. I mean, I eat squirrels, I eat blackbirds, I'm old school, I eat the pheasants we shoot. Don't take much from me at all, I'm old school. I used to eat muskrats, I used to eat the crows. When we shot crows, I said, let me try it. So I don't put no airs on. So that's what brings me to where we're at today, man. I'm living the life. I got no complaints. I had a good life. My timing, it wasn't me, just where I ended up being that part of my life. Could have never done it years ago. That's why I said Heisler, English, Fitzpatrick, they were not my idols, but I really respect, they were the old-time collectors. But they could never make a living out of it if there wasn't enough demand for it on the river. So they were part-time guys, and they made great stuff. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. But it fell into, after I sold mine, I can make, and before that was 27 years, I consider myself a pro. In 81, sold the flower shop and went into carving. All my income from 07 to 81 to 07 was decoys. But that was 90% of them were floated on a mantle. They were no longer, they stopped being decoys, they become art. And that enabled me to make a living out of it. And another thing, a little bit different than me, I never sold myself cheap. I always got a lot of money for my stuff. And I've had people, I remember when Jamie come over the house with Harry Shore and said, how the hell do you get the money that you get? Because they were making stuff just as good as me. I said, because I asked for it. Right. They're not going to volunteer and say, I'll give you $1,000. You got to ask for it. Yeah. And eventually, no matter what I asked, they gave it to me. Nobody's more shocked than me. So I never thought myself, and I still don't. I don't think I'm surely not a great carver by no means. I mean, I'm not a good carpenter. I can't saw a straight line. I'm not a great artist. I never had no training. But whatever I do know, and I put it together, I think I make a pretty good Delaware River. Nothing to be embarrassed about. I think English would want to shake my hand. I know I want to shake his. So, Christ, who knew we would get to this? Nobody's more shocked than me. And again, I'm humbled to be here. I thank you for having me. And thanks again for coming out. I really appreciate it. I mean, I could go forever. Pauline said, you better tell Jamie to get the hook. So I'll go out on my own.
We'll remind you of some things.
Thanks for, I didn't wander off too bad.
You did good. So Bob, you got one particular decoy or grouping that you found that just sticks out in your mind?
And my old finds?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it would be that I mentioned the 60 English, John English. Of course, I went crazy over them, and I think it was 11 Blairs. I'll think just quick. It's funny the things you remember. I still had the flower shop, and I used to love to get out and deliver because I could go in these neighborhoods and I was like a bird dog. I could kind of scent where they were. It didn't take much. You see an old abandoned boat, skull boat. Hell, somebody was a duck hunter there. I seen one, in this case, the Blair, they had their tomato plants with skull oars. Tomato plant tied to it. I said, that guy was a duck hunter there. Old broken down house. So my buddy was with me, and this old lady comes out, and she's walking out, shuffling, like I walk now, shuffling her feet. And I said, get out and ask her if she's got any old decoys. So he hollers out the window, you got any? She goes, what? Like me now, what? Couldn't hear shit. So I opened up the glove before I put, decoys. She said, yeah! So we go in, I meet her daughter. Her daughter was like 75. The old lady was up in her 90s. See, I got them. My father had them. She said, but come back tomorrow morning because they're up in the attic. So, Christ, I didn't sleep all night. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to go. So I go, and we go up in the attic. She had a little cubbyhole crawl space up in there. And there was these 11 Blairs, which I did not know anything about Blairs. I wanted English. I wanted high school. I wanted wings. Sure. I wanted Delaware River. I didn't know nothing about Blair, and they didn't look that much like Delaware River, but they were beautiful. Obviously, the paint. They had the artist paint. So she says, I said, how much you want for them? She said, $10 a piece. My father sold a bunch of them before he died to an antique dealer in Philadelphia for $10 a piece. I said, no way. I can't get them. And I always brought an English around with me in mint condition. And I said, I only paid $1 for this. How can I pay $10 for that? And yeah, well, so she didn't go right away. She said, I'll think about it. Again, another night I couldn't sleep. So the next morning I go in the shop early, and his first call in the morning is, come on over and pick them up. $4 a piece. So I jumped on it, and couldn't wait to get to Lloyd. I would go to Lloyd every weekend. And Lloyd, if you knew him, did you ever meet Lloyd?
Poker face.
Oh man. Wooden poker face, man. And he had saggy. He aged way before his time. He died. He was 50, but he looked 100. He was sick for a long time, but I loved the guy, and I know he was beating me up. I know it, but I paid for my education. That's okay. So he would look and say, I can't give you any more than. But you know he could give you 10 times more. So all right. But I would trade him too a lot for his carvings because I wanted to copy him. And Lloyd was way ahead of his time. You know anything about Lloyd? He was really, really good. Way ahead of his time. And I was okay with that. So finally we make the deal, and he gets them. Not all of them. I always kept some. I kept some home. And he had his buddy there, Red somebody, antique dealer, I forget his name. And he walked up to him, he said, that's a John Blair. And he went and he pulled out Joe Barber's book, and he paged to the picture, and it was identical to John Blair Mallard. And man, he was so happy. He lost that poker face. He owned that. I'm thinking, remember the name of the book. Remember the name of the book. So I get the book, and then I get a little more smarter. And I found others after that too. I found Blair geese, but not many. And then of course it started drying up, less and less. And then it got to a point where it wasn't even worth going. The old guys were gone. Most of the stuff was gone. If there were any, they were in like the Biddles estates where there ain't no way you could even get in. They got lock gates, and they ain't going to sell them anyway. Although I did. I got the Mrs. Mercer Biddle, but again, it was timing. Her husband died. And he had all these great birds, Englishes and Blairs, and the kids, they had a boathouse, and the local kids were breaking in, stealing them. And she was home alone. She was scared, and a friend of mine knew a friend of hers and said, would you want to sell it? She said, I may as well. She only had a daughter. She had no interest in them. And I got those, and they were, oh, God, what stuff he had. I mean, if they had money, they could buy the best.
Tell the Barry Rank story.
The what?
Barry Rank story. The attorney at the Biddle place.
Oh, yeah. Well, that comes later.
Okay.
So that was the neighbor, Charles Biddle. This is Mercer Biddle I'm talking about, and I loved it. She was a wonderful woman. She was an old Victorian woman. Not to say anything about the women today, but dressed like a woman. Looked like a lady, dressed like a woman, spoke perfect English.
Was comfortable being.
I felt like an idiot with her, maybe my Trenton accent, but she liked me. And I found out why. When her husband was young, he kind of looked like me. And I kind of think
sounds like a story.
I kind of think like she was, going back. I like this guy. He talks like an idiot, but I like him. So we got along, and then when I took my wife, she really, poof, man, bring her back. We'll have tea and Biddles out on the river. And we did, and I really liked her, and I got more stools all the time. And then she had to move. She couldn't afford the house because no matter how much money you leave, they didn't figure on inflation, I guess. So she had to scale down to a smaller house. And she took birds, and I got them. And there were some, what I thought were Blairs. Well, back then we called everything Blair before the computer come out and Russ Allen come out with his thing. We didn't know anything about Vance. We called them Blair 2, Blair 1, because they had the Blair paint. Not all of them, but some of them. So I thought, why not? I would make, when I was making I'd make a grade. If you couldn't afford a good one, I'd make it a little cheaper one. But it ended up, as we learn more and go along, but we get smarter. Although the Blair thing now, the more it comes out now, I think the less I knew. I didn't know much at all. There's so much, it's such a mystery, that Blair thing. But I do know this, and the same with the Dawsons. We might not have all the answers, but I'm telling you, man, those Blairs, if you like paint, boy, they're the best painted. And there's one thing for sure, we might not get the guy's name, but that was not a decoy maker that painted those birds. That was somewhat of a trained artist painted those birds and made them what they are, just like the Dawsons made the English. So to me, it doesn't make any difference. They're old, they got the look, they got the history. If you got anything at all like it, count your blessings. If you're a collector, you got some good stuff, some of the best stuff. You got the history there. And I always thought, of course, Lloyd, everybody liked him. Well, how couldn't you like him? But then again, if just personal opinion, this could be argued. And if you ask me who my favorite is, it's John English. I mean, to me, he was the guy.
So how about we open it up to the moderators a little bit, and then anybody got anything from the audience? Grove, you know Bob a long time. You got any?
We go back a long time.
One of the first times I met Bob, he said, boy, do I enjoy talking to the old people. We were young. Now we're the old people.
Oh, you got it.
But besides being here today and having Bob here and having his legacy over there, what I got from today is talking to Jim Pierce.
Well, he's the man here.
He's 92, and he's got stories about John.
Oh, I bet.
John Hillman, Summers Headley.
Right.
And that was a highlight of my day here today, quite apart from Bob. He talked about buying a $10 decoy for, I don't know, $2.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you've ever been to his house in Tullytown, to me, that's $1 million house, but they were asking $25,000 for it.
A lot of money at the time.
And he got it for $20,000. Mm-hmm. So that's the kind of guy we're dealing with.
Yeah.
We talk about legacy. That he mentioned, I only have 2 decoys over there, or 3, I guess. One came from his rig. And to me, it's legacy. He's talked about his nephews, and we all have a legacy. We all live and have a legacy. We own it. That's what we own. And just like Bob says, we only own these things for a short while.
That's right, caretakers.
But those decoys over there, John Cavalier, most of you remember him,
Great
and
guy.
I and my son Will gunned over those broadbills over there. That's awesome. And he mentioned those earlier. If you turn them over, you can still see the green corrosion on the weights. And to me, I bought them for Bob. I don't remember. They certainly weren't today's prices. But they're 2 I'll never give up, because my son and his sons, my grandsons, they'll remember Bob White, and they'll say, I knew the man who shook the hand of Bob White. And he mentioned Lloyd Johnson. I know Lloyd died when he was, what, 55?
Not even. I think 50. 51 maybe.
So when you talk
He didn't
about,
last long.
yeah, when you talk about, we enjoyed talking to the old people. I never knew Lloyd Johnson, and I'm happy to know all of your stories. I heard them all, by the way. But quite apart from the decoy people, what old person do you remember talking to about how it was? Gun and shooting guns.
Well, Bill Appleton was the one I remember the most. I used to visit him all the time. He had the rig of Englishes, and he really told me some great story. He gunned with Englishes. He knew the Englishes personally,
Really?
and he really gave me a lot of history. I enjoyed talking to all of them, really. But it was Bill would stand out more than anybody. Nice as could be. Well, we had the same interest, like all of us here. We got the same interest. We're all shooters. We're all collectors, and it's easy to get along with somebody.
I just wrote something the other day about we wouldn't be here. He wouldn't be here if it weren't for Pauline White. And you
That's
talk
for
about
sure.
Eleanor and Franklin. Well, it's Bob and Pauline.
She's the best of me, no doubt about it.
And
I always said that.
most of us wouldn't be here if it weren't for Kathy and Pauline. And
You gotta mention our ladies.
So I just got to put that in there. She's a collector too, by the way.
Oh, of everything. Too much. Too much. Got stuff all over the house.
Yeah, Pauline is one classy lady. Took a number of years for me to call her Pauline. She'd answer
She
the
keep
phone.
telling you, call me
She'd
Pauline.
answer the phone. I said, how you doing, Mrs. White? She said, you got to call me Pauline. I said, okay. And then the next time I call her, I said, how you doing, Mrs. White? And then finally I got comfortable doing
Well,
it.
you got it in.
Yeah.
Pauline!
Yeah, so, yeah.
No, she's the
Quick
best.
story on a decoy that I acquired. It's a pretty cool story, but I bought one out of one of the local auctions. And it was cheap. It wasn't much. And a couple years later, we had our shows down in Manhawk and Holiday Inn down there, and I had it on there. I think I paid $100 or $150 on it. I think I had $350 or $400 on this black duck. It was Delaware River style black duck, original paint, good looking bird, nothing fancy on it. But so on the bottom of it, it had in black magic marker H. Miller. So that's Herb Miller, and I know of Herb Miller. I know his birds. Nice Delaware River bird and pretty nice carved and painted. And this didn't look like that, so I thought maybe it was one of his early ones. So it's on my table there, and Jeff Cruiser, where are you at?
He's here.
Jeff come up to the table and he picks it up and he says, what can you tell me about this decoy? I said, Jeff, I'm going to tell you. I said, I bought it in the auction cheap. I said, if you want it, I was going to knock whatever off of it. I said, it says Herb Miller. I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know anything about it looking like a Herb Miller. He said, I collect Herb Miller. I don't think it's a Herb Miller. He said, I'll be back. So a little while later, he comes back and he's got the man with him. And Bob's holding the decoy. And he's got a little bit of a smirk on his face there. And he says, what can you tell me about this? I said, Bob, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Jeff. I said, I got it cheap in the auction. I said, it says Herb Miller. He says, well, I can tell you it's not Herb Miller. I said, really? I perked up. I said, you any idea who it is? He says, yeah. He said, that's one of my first decoys I carved. Had a round weight on it, I think, if I remember.
Yeah, I remember.
And
Made
I
a
said,
dozen.
really? Yeah, then he tells me the story. He made a dozen of them. What was it?
Trade for English. I traded the guy for English. The guy had a dozen English sculpin black ducks, and I said, "You don't want to be gunning with those old things. They leak." I said, "I'll make you a dozen brand new ones in fair swap." He said, "That sounds good to me," and that's one of the 12. But that's what we did then. I used to buy dipper ordies. I had hundreds and hundreds of dipper ordies. I'd buy for $3 a piece. I had them up in the garage in the back. And I trade. I might have to trade 3 or 4 for somebody that had either an old bay bird. Yeah. But hell, that's a fair swap to me.
Yeah.
And because sometimes money wouldn't work. No. These guys were hunters and they didn't care about money. They wanted decoys. So I did whatever I had to do, aside from just stealing them. Some people think I stole them, but it depends on how you look at it. I gave them the price at the time, and they didn't have to take it. And really, most of the stuff I'm talking about, $1, $2. You made $1. The big stuff where I made them because I kept the birds for 30 years. When I sold in 07, and then later I start buying big later. That mallard I just sold, I paid $5,000 for it. I bought one of those Blairs back. I sold it to Lloyd, and I ended up buying it back. I met the guy down in Virginia in a little motel there. I gave him $20,000 to buy the bird back. Ouch. But I ended up selling it for $100,000 at auction.
But not too smart, this guy.
No, I didn't plan on that. I didn't plan on it. It just fell that way. I wasn't figuring. I just wanted the bird back because I knew it was a great bird. And I made new ones to pay for it. Hell, that's a fair deal to me. Any new one for an old one, because I really love the old ones. I mean, I like my stuff too, but I really like the old stuff. That's where it all started with me. That's where the history is. Without them, I wouldn't be here.
All right, River Rat.
Okay, hit me.
Your turn, River Rat.
Hit me. Just don't slander me.
You know, we talk about entertainment and doing things with the clubs and all the new collectors. Bob Pauline, I'm going to go back. I mean, I met him before this, but...
Debbie was pregnant with your first child. I remember that.
Yeah. Deb.
I remember that, babe.
Yeah. And that's where the professional word come out.
Put the mic close so they can't hear you. Put the mic up to your...
Do I have it on?
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah.
Is it on?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
okay.
got it.
So, but I want to talk about real quick was Deb and I went to Bob and Pauline's. We were invited and included
Everybody was
everybody from
Johnny
collectors.
50th birthday.
But it was John Hillman's birthday. It was his 80th birthday.
80th.
80th. And I said to Deb, I said, I'm going to video this. And I have the video. We just got to figure out a way to get it to where we can get it on YouTube so everybody can see it. But one of the things that come up, and you know, he's already talked about this a little bit, where the two masters on the Delaware River, John English and John Dawson, come together. And that rig of English Dawson decoys. And I remember Bob almost sitting in Johnny's lap, talking to him about the English Dawson pintail.
He had 9 of them.
I want
Johnny
that
had
bird.
9 of them.
Johnny, I want that bird. I mean, I can let you tell the story.
He offered it to me.
Yeah, he did.
What happened was he loved them. As soon as they were found, he always loved them. And when Mackey died, they had several experts from every area. I think Joe Tonelli was there for the Western birds. Yep. Maybe somebody from here, I'm not sure who. Maybe Jimmy, I don't know. They had from every expert. Well, Johnny was the expert for Delaware River and Bay birds. So they appraised him, And for their fee, Mrs. Mackey says, take what you want. Johnny took 9 Dawson for his fee.
That's where you really learned your money part from.
He took the pintail, he took the redhead, all the good ones. And then later down the road, when I sold I sold Leather Cloud. I sold my collection of Bruce Williams.
Right.
I had money then. So I was buying old birds back. That's when I paid 20 for the Blair to buy back. So I'm slipping here. I got a mental block here, or I'm going with this thing.
You're going to the English Dawson pintail.
Yeah. So Johnny down the road, he knew I loved him, and he knew I had the money from thing. I'll sell the 9 here for 100,000. And man, I start thinking, should I buy these? I wish I knew you then. I said, but I was getting older then, and I said, you know what? I don't have any kids. I don't know. Should I lay that kind of money out for these things? And bottom line is I didn't. And then when Johnny died, just the pintail alone at 9 went for 139,000. So I knew I made a mistake.
Went in the collection of Jim Cook.
I made a lot of mistakes. We all do. If you want to call it a mistake, but it's okay. I can live with it. There's a lot of things I have a should have book like that. What I should have done. And my biggest thing is I always bring it, and Pauline hollers at me. When I sold in 07, I had a lot of money. It's all on record. Everybody knows it. I had a lot of money. And the market was down. Jeff's into the market stuff. It was down. And I always had a thing for Apple. I always wanted Apple stock. Apple was $83 a share. So I told Paul, I says, it's 83,000. So what? That's nothing. Let's do it. No, we need that money. No, we need that to retire on. No, I should never listen to her. I knew I should have listened to her. But whenever we drive somewhere, she says, turn here, I do it, and it's the wrong damn turn. I don't know why I do it, but I just do it. Well, I didn't, but that's okay. I'm okay. You don't have to cry for me. I'm doing fine. But I asked my nephew, he's in the finance, he said, do you know what that would be worth today? How many times that went? Yeah. But that's okay.
If you told me you got that, I'd be like, man, you are the luckiest person in the world.
It would all been luck, but I always had a thing about Apple. Yeah. But that's in the beginning when what was it, Steve Jobs? He was getting sick and people were getting afraid too, and they were all, well, I don't know about that. All you guys weren't too sure, but I said, you know what? What's 83,000? So what? You know, I had nothing. If I lose it all, I still have nothing. I still eat squirrels. I could still get by. I'm not going to starve.
That's great.
But you know, that's it. We all have a should have book.
Well, I can. I reflect back to a little bit when he talks about old timers. I mean, you had to love them. You know,
Russell Holtz,
Johnny Hillman, Johnson, Bud Ward.
Bud Ward, the best.
You know, Bobby Richardson, Jack Conover. You know, Harry McGargy.
I knew them all.
But I got to, you know, Bob's talking about a little bit about money, so I got to tell this story. You know, I was young and hanging out in a gas station, getting ready to go duck hunting with my father, and this old timer walks in. Says, you got any old decoys? You know anybody's got any old decoys?
Johnny.
It's Johnny Hillman. I didn't know Johnny from nothing then, and I said, yeah, I got a few, but to make a long story short, I used to help with some of the gun clubs, and the Middle Island Gun Club needed cleaning, and they had asked me to clean the top out, and when I went up there, I found a sack full of black duck decoys, wooden black duck decoys, and I didn't know who made them, same as Bob, and but I thought, well, you know what? My mom looked up Johnny Hillman's phone number. He had given it to me, but I lost it. And I called him. He come down to the house, and I pulled the ducks out, and I said, "What do you think, John?" Well, same thing, poker face.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh man, he was something.
He would chew his lip.
Yeah.
He walked, and I knew there was something. When he started chewing the bottom lip, I said, "Oh, I got something going here." After a while, I learned to read them.
So we pull them out of the sack. Jim, they look pretty good. They're not bad decoys.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know who made them. I said, I don't know how old they are. He goes, well, a fellow by the name of Bertzel made them.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay. He said, well, they're for sale. He says, yeah. I said, yeah. And I said, but I don't know what to ask, Johnny. Johnny says, well, I'll give you $25 a piece for them.
Whoa.
I thought, I'm a duck hunter. I'm not a decoy man. There goes a brand new Browning automatic, man. It's under 5. So I sell him the decoy, but I want you to do one thing. I said, what's that, John? He said, I want you to take one of them decoys, put it in your house, and leave it.
Good. Good advice.
That's how I got started with John Hill.
Good advice.
In the relationship.
Good advice.
2 years go by. I'm at the Eastern Waterfowl Festival, and in walks a collector, an old-time collector, and I'm standing with Johnny, and Johnny says, come around the back, I got to talk to this guy. I said, okay. So Johnny starts talking, and the next thing I know, he reaches under the table, and he pulls out this decoy. And I said, man, that's one of them decoys that I sold him. So they started discussing. The next thing I know, the guy reaches in his pocket, now coming $100 bills. So Johnny picks up the $100 bills and folds them up, puts them in his pocket. Turns around, looks at me, and he goes, Jimmy. I said, what, John? Did you learn anything?
Yeah, I think so.
That's typical, but they were made by Jess Burchell. They were all original.
You learned you couldn't get any more.
No. When Henry Fleckenstein done the first Atlantic Region book, the first page of the decoy when you start is 2 Jesse Burchell black ducks in black and white photos. Yeah. But
that's great.
We all learn. We learn from the best, like Grove says.
I mean, your education.
Yeah, I mean, and I learned a lot from Bob on the river. I was a bay, I was on the Barnegat Bay, but meeting up with Bob would tell me. I mean, there are the things we all share, Grove, myself, and even today, sharing it with all you. And again, like Bob said, I want to thank you all for being here.
Oh yeah,
it's what it's about, and educating the youth and educating the younger generation on, the makers and everything. Because you take a decoy like John English and marrying it with John Dawson. I mean, you talk about the history. I know Bob gets a little tight.
That's history,
but
for sure.
And I know some other rigs that Bob found, like the Harry Lynn rig with the Quinn black ducks.
Great stuff.
Some of the finest black ducks on the Delaware River.
Great stuff.
Joe King.
Joe King Pintail.
He can talk. I own Bob's Joe King Pintail now.
But they weren't great at the time.
Right.
In fact, I remember when I bought the Bill Quinns, I bought 60 of them. I went to Mikey, his son, he had one son, and I found out where he lived, and I went, and well, first let me run back on this. If we run it too late here, I don't want you to get the hook out.
Yeah. Now we got a little time.
Yeah, we got time.
So I'm still in the flower business. And I used to love to deliver, like I said, because I got out in the neighborhoods. So anyway, I make a delivery to the funeral parlor. I didn't pay any attention to the name. You deliver flowers, get the viewings that night. I'm talking to the funeral parlor, talking to the funeral director, and I look in the casket, and God damn, it's Bill Quinn. So, I said, yo, is that Bill Quinn? Because I knew Bill. I tried to buy his decoys while he was still around, and no, he would not sell them. And I said, wow. So then the predicament, when do I go over? I'm trying to be nice here. I don't know. Is there any book that tells you when? So I said, well, I'll wait a month. Which I was very lucky. Because the only ones that went over, but there's one thing that wasn't around, and I was the only picker. So, but it was just his friends. They went in a week. I said to Mikey, his friends are already here. they offered me $5 a piece for the decoys. He had 60 of them. I said, I'll give you $15 a piece, which was unheard of back then. And he said, let me ask my mom. He went in the house and he said, yeah, she'll take it, because they didn't have much money.
Wow.
They weren't poor, but they didn't have much money. So I get him, and I had to sell them. So I put the word out, and I was doing shows. In fact, we're going up to Bourne Auction back then with Mac. He was still alive. He was putting stuff in while he was still alive. And I took stuff up there, and I put him at the table, and all those guys up there were all saying, who the hell's Bill Quinn? Look at them, they look brand new. Nobody cared about them.
No.
So I was patient, and I would sell them as I went along. In fact, it ended up, I had the divers, I had to just get 15. I couldn't even make a profit on them. I was glad to get rid of them for 15. But the grass duck I did all right. So we go back about 3 or 4 months later, and my getting a haircut, and my buddy said, the barber said, there was a guy in here, who was a friend of Bill Quinn, and he says, I told him you had bought the whole rig. He said, and the guy said, did he get the hawk and crows or the owl and crows? And I said,
I remember that.
Yep.
I said, no, I don't know. I didn't see him. We went up in the barn and pulled. He said, no, he used to, that's where I got the idea to make mine. So, man, I said, hurry up. Clip me up, hurry up. I'm out of here. So I run home, I get some money, and I run right over, and Mikey's out in the yard. I said, I was going to call you. I was cleaning up in the barn, and I found these buried way back there, and he pulled it out. Oh man, it was a handmade dovetail. It had a big leather strap.
Yeah.
And you opened it up, and there were 3 crows, and you pulled the tray out, and there were 3 more crows, 6 crows. You pulled the tray out, and underneath was the owl staring at me. This owl. So, man, I gotta have this. He said, how much you give me for it? How much? I'll give you $300 for it all. He said, well, I don't know, let me ask my mom. She said, she'll take it. So I take it, and I start showing it all over, and nobody wanted it. It was too new looking. So finally I did a Point Pleasant show next to Bill Mackey, and I had it there on display, trying to sell. He says, I'll come down to your house, and I'll see them all. So he comes down with Quintina, his girlfriend, used to travel with her, and he picks it out, and he picks out about 10 or 12 other Quins, and he says, I'll take these. I said, whoa, wait a minute. I said, you can take the ducks, but I don't know about the hawk. I don't know what to ask for it. And it's the only time I was really good friends with Bill, but he was short-tempered Irishman. He'd get off real easy. Man, his face turned red. I thought he was going to have a heart attack. And he said, well, if you feel that way, you could keep them all. And he walked up the stairs and pissed off at me. And I knew what he got thinking. And it must have been Quintina when he went home. She must have said, what are you, nuts? This guy's finding stuff every week and you're going to get mad at him? And finally I got a call and he apologized, which was hard for him to do. But let me say this, I like Bill a lot. He was short-tempered, but he was the kind of guy, if he liked you, he liked you. But if he didn't, you didn't exist, you were dead. And I like that. Don't lie to me in my face and then talk about me when I'm not here. And that's the way he was. And then after that, I got along with him fine.
I know.
For years, and then he finally passed. So it's another one I lost. And I remember going to the memorial, and it was I see Donald O'Brien there, and then it's another Donald O'Brien. Got good friends with him, very friendly with him. And I lost him. I'm at a point now where I'm going to be the last guy standing.
One more story that I think you should talk about, and that's Lloyd Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember when you went in the attic and found some nice
Oh, yeah.
toys in
Oh yeah.
a treasure chest?
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, and Lloyd passed, and boy, that really got me. I like Lloyd.
Yeah.
I really like Lloyd. And his wife called me afterwards, about a month later, and said, "You want to come over and get what's left, because they cleaned them out." Mort Hansen went and everything.
Uh-huh.
And get what carvings are, because there were some carvings unfinished, some birds unpainted, and the wood. Take what's left. Come on over. So I did. I went over, and I said, "How about that?" We always used to sit out on the lawn. He had nice lawn furniture. I said, "How about the lawn furniture?" He says, "Yeah, I'll sell that. It's up in the attic." So I said, one of those pull down things. I pulled down. I went up. I look at the lawn. And there's two big trunks. These big old fashioned trunks. There's a proper name for it, but I don't know. Two of them. Traveler's trunks. I open it up. Man, first thing, it's a Bowman Curlew. First thing, Shang Wheelers. I opened up the other one. There was two Bowman Curlews. I opened up and alongside was a John English pintail that just went
250,000.
Yeah, 240,000,
something like that.
Yeah.
I never seen anything like it. I picked it up. I couldn't believe it. I had a speculum on it. Oh, what a bird!
The only one.
And I put it back, and I didn't say nothing, and I snuck in there and looked at it, but I knew it was there. And she starts selling, of course, and the Bud Ward had that auction there with Mort Hansen.
Yeah.
And then I had a chance to buy it. But that was before Bruce Williams. I didn't have the money. Because Mort said, "Yeah, I'll sell it." Mort Hansen got it.
Yeah.
I said, "What do you want?" He said, "Well, the auction house was here." That was when Gary was there. Gary got. He said they said maybe 30,000. I said, "Well, yeah, they could say what the hell? They could say 50,000.
Yeah.
Who knows? But it might not. It might go for 10,000." I said, "Well, what do you want for it?" "I'll take 27,000." And God damn it, I was thinking about it, but I would have had to remortgage the house. But I wanted that bird.
You wanted it bad.
But I passed on it. Maybe another should have. No, there's another should have after that.
Yeah, should have.
And the bottom line is, it got sold, and it went. Well, I give it to Donald O'Brien. I give the tip to him because he was going to make a deal with Mort Hansen. I said, "For your fee, get that pintail for your fee." So he got it for free, Donald.
Wow.
And he sold it for $250,000.
Yeah.
But it's not the money. The bird was just.
Oh yeah.
It's like those pair of cans you downstairs, the holly.
The holly.
It's worth a trip to come from California to see that pair of cans.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Priceless.
Awesome.
Priceless. To sit there to get to hold it, it's just, to me, it's priceless. It's like the old masterpiece, art paintings. We're not there yet, but I think we'll get there. I really do. Because they are, the good ones are works of art, and to find them right is almost impossible, especially here, where they repainted them. That pair of cans down there is just unbelievable. Just great stuff. Great stuff.
If you put things in perspective and you think about it, 50 years, 100 years from now, those decoys there are going to be the...
Well, they're the collectibles. The contemporary guys today are the collectibles of the future.
Sure.
Every area, they have their contemporary guy. That's going to be the collectibles. The old stuff is dried up. Where are you going to get it? There's no more being found. It's like land. There's only so much survived.
Yeah. If you read Joe Barber's book, he talks about Shang Wheeler being a contemporary carver.
That's right.
Today.
So look what you pay for a shang.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, these are the John English and the Elmer Crowells of the future. I mean,
to the carvers out there today, I mean, just keep it up, man. Plus it's fun. Plus the people you meet, you get the whole package.
Yeah. Let's take a few questions from the audience. Jimmy, you got anything?
Jimmy.
You good?
We got one over here.
Yeah.
I don't have a question. I got a story. This won't take more than 2 minutes.
Me2, Salem, New Jersey, Decoy show.
Yeah, I remember it. Me too.
You remember what? You know what I'm going to say then.
A little bufflehead, English bufflehead.
Bob Whitefoot, English bufflehead.
What a bird! Oh,
From
jeez,
Water.
what a bird!
Okay, I bought
Killer.
a Dan English mallard from Bob. I didn't have the money.
Yeah.
I was used to
None of us had
for
money.
$100 or less. This was $1,000.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody couldn't believe that
I
I was
know.
buying a bird for $1,000.
But look at it this way. I always said this. It's only money. You can make money, and if you're fortunate enough, we make a lot of money. That's the better things you could buy. But you can't make that bird. Get me another one of those buffleheads. It's the only one I ever seen.
So anyhow, so I was selling Bud Ward stuff that I made. He was giving me $100 bills.
Yeah.
I gave the $100 bills to Bob.
I took it gladly.
Bob gave the $100 bills back to Bud Ward because that's what he was buying. Bob gave me, he said, you know, pay me whenever you get the money. So I gave it back. But the money went a complete circle.
That's hilarious.
It went from me,
That's right.
It went from Bud to me to Bob.
That's what makes the world go around, money.
Jamie Hannon.
Yes, I'd just like to mention, we've heard a lot about Bob's picking career, and his work to the side of this shows his brilliance as a carver. But what most of you that don't know Bob personally wouldn't know, he's one of the best hunters you'll ever meet.
I don't know about that.
I describe him to people I know as Daniel Boone reincarnated.
At one time.
You know, you can almost say he's one of a kind. There's a few others out there, but he remember, all these decoys are made for one thing, to hunt.
Right.
Get food for your family or ship to the city as a market hunter. Bob loves carving. Bob loves collecting. Bob loves gunning, as we call it.
Yeah, gunning. Railbirds especially.
Of picking about
What
for
do
sure.
you got, man, young man?
My name's Butch Wagner.
Yes, Bushwhiter, heard of you. You're a popular guy here.
I was on the phone last night with George Strunk.
Oh boy. Yeah.
About an hour and a half.
Yeah, you can't cut it short with George.
Well, my wife doesn't understand who talks the most, me or him.
Oh boy.
But he asked me to get you to tell the story about your last hunting trip at the boat ramp over in New Jersey. Apparently, someone over there was shooting something at you.
Oh, that's when I gave up ducks. Yeah, I gave up 2 years ago. I was just telling somebody local, I forget who it was. I got, as I said, started I was 13, and so it was 70 years that I was, 2 years ago, that I was still hunting ducks. I mean, I pounded the hell out of them for 70 years and had fun doing it. And it's less and less and less, but I still like to go out. Up to 2 years ago, I had my boat and all my decoy. I tell my wife, I'm going out, it's like a picnic. Give me a little lunch, I'll go out. I like to see the decoys floating. If I kill a pair, that's okay. If I don't, that's okay too. But I like being out. So I'm out, and I don't remember if I got anything that day, but I'm coming back, and this is in Trenton. Trenton's not like when I grew up. Trenton is like a war zone now. And they hang around over by the ramp across. I'm on the Pensy side, they're on the Jersey. They hang there and party and do whatever they want to do. Cops don't even want to go there. So I'm riding by fast. I got a snake box with a 15-horse motor, and I hear something noise, and I thought it was the Marine police coming up behind me. So I cut the motor and turned the boat, and it ain't. It's a boom box playing on shore. It's a big boom box. So I kick up and I start going, and I hear in front of the boat, ping, ping in the back of the boat, shooting at me. And I want to tell you, they weren't trying to scare me. They were trying to hit me. I was the only game in town, and they don't think anything of it. So I got home, and I didn't even tell my wife yet. She hears this, she's going to rip me up on this. I said, you know what, I think it's over. I mean, there's no ducks. I gotta risk my life. But before that, they would flatten your tire, steel brake open at the rim. You know, it's just, it was over. I've been there and done it. It was great. I got no complaints, but I guess that's the final act for me. Plus, I had a guy call me, Jeff don't like this, but it's the truth. I had a friend of mine call me this year. He said, come on out, I'll take you out and shoot a couple ducks. I said, yeah, I'll go. It's hard for me to get around because I had both my knees operated on, and they're good, but they're not like your own knees. So, yeah, I'll go. So I shoot a hen mallard, and then I looked at the damn thing. It was so beautiful. I said, you know what? I don't even know why the hell I shot it.
It's time.
I don't want it. I'm not crazy about ducks.
It's time.
So, you know, I think it's time. So I'm not interested. I had just said Joe just wanted me to go. He's in here somewhere. I'm just not interested, man. I don't want to kill no ducks anymore. But now you talk about crows and doves, turkeys,
Rabbits.
I ain't there yet with them. I'm not there yet with them. So it's just the ducks. I mean, they're so beautiful. And I get that hen mallard. She was just marked so beautiful. And you couldn't even see there was no blood or nothing on it. I know this upsets him too. But no, I don't want to do any more ducks. I've done, believe me, plenty in that 70 years. Plus I did real well with my rig. I mean, I sold a lot of, did well. So that's where I'm at now.
Quail rig.
Any other questions?
Quail rig, swan rig.
Go ahead.
On the Delaware River, there's a trilogy of 3 schools. You're hunting and fishing, the collectors, and the carvers. And Bob was a respected member of all of them. Bob, as Jamie pointed out, he's a grinder. He's like you, Jamie. He's not entirely an honest man. You ask him about game laws, income tax, forget it.
I never broke a law. Never broke a law. I just lie a lot. That's just bullshit. I stretch the truth.
Stretch.
Biggest bullshit. Remember that.
But nevertheless, in the river, we had a group of guys called the Gang. And these guys were all hardcore. Joe Ping, Bill Quinn, Turk was there, a bunch of them. And they only respect that Bob used to be a competitive shooter. He would shoot every week, competition. And then these guys would shoot 100 out of 100. So you weren't impressing them.
I never made that, never got there.
But Bob was respected in all 3 camps, the carvers, the collectors, and the gunners. Yeah. And that's a rare thing, because like me and Bill Uppington say about Bob, he's a real deal. Yeah. And he did it all. You know?
The other thing you can add to that is he's a straight shooter. I mean, he tells
when
it comes to
It depends on what you're talking about.
Sounds like I respect you. And you know Bob. But you don't know him as well as I do. He's a real deal, depending if you're buying or selling.
Yeah. Al, go ahead.
I'll tell this story without any malice intent. Sam Archer was a neighbor of mine, and I used to spend a lot of time with him.
I love the guy.
So he would, another little short story, he'd come up almost every evening, get in the front door, and then I would sit him down, get on my bike, and run down to Farnsworth Dell to get a cup of coffee and a butterscotch cribbit. He'd eat that. Well, one afternoon, I'm down in his backyard, we're sitting down to get 2 sole horses in the plank, and that's what we sat down and talking. And I said to him, Sam, do you have any birds you want to sell? Well, yeah, I think so. So he goes in his garage, pulls out a merganser. Pulls out a merganser with the paint brush time. I look at it. Now, this was about 1970, 71. I was in graduate school. I didn't have 2 nickels to run together.
Of course. None of us did.
So I said to Sam, how much? He says, to you, Al, 25. Okay? I ran up the house. I said to my wife, I need 25. What do you need? Just shut up. I came back with like $19 change. I looked at the board. I said, Sam, where is it? He said, I sold it.
Guess who got it?
That guy right there. Until now.
They were good birds. They were good birds.
They probably delivered flowers.
They were good birds.
Yes, sir.
Yes. How does your style of bird that you carve from, I guess, the Delaware or New Jersey region differ from the birds that are here?
Good question. Yeah, much. As you can see, the carved wings, the carved tail, which this area is smooth. You don't need, that duck's not looking at carved wings and carved tail. He comes in that close, he's dead. So, but we're just tradition. For some reason, and I don't know who the first guy was. I like to think it was John, but I think there was somebody before him come up with that cut wing, hollow, little undersized than the real bird, and painted pretty good compared to other areas. And narrow, no more than 6 wide, too deep. A lot of them sleeping, head down. That's just been the tradition as far as I can remember.
Are they hollowed?
Hollow, always hollow. Very rare to find a solid. You might find some, but mostly always hollowed. Usually white pine or Jersey cedar or Jersey cedar white pine heads. And those guys, if you can remember, most of them were made before TV, had a radio, but no TV. They'd go out in the garage with a potbelly stove. All the guys would come over, coffee on the stove, have fun making birds. They didn't care how long it took. I didn't care when I had the flower shop. When I was in showbiz, I would take 40 hours. I didn't care to make a bird. I wanted to win a ribbon.
Talk about the painting in the John English black duck. I mean, the black.
He was good. He was really. He was.
You don't see that.
He was good.
You got to understand too. The reason Jersey birds are hollow is because a lot of the way they hunted was out of a sneak box, on the coast. So there was only so much room on the sneak box. You couldn't weigh them down.
Yeah,
and then the other
I
thing
guess
with
it started with weight and then buoyancy and float better. It just was a tradition that was handed on generation after generation.
in the Delaware River style birds, the predominant way they gunned was sculling. So you'd set your decoys out, you'd get upstream of them, and you had to wait for the birds to set into the decoys. So
They had to hold.
Yeah,
they had sculling
Yeah,
here.
they
They
had
had
little
some
birds
sculling
that
around.
would swoop.
I think Elkton they sculled. Didn't they here too?
Called bushwhack.
Bushwhack. Different boats. You had big boats and
With a curtain.
yeah, we had low profile with trash on it, but the same idea.
Right.
Deadly. I always said, oh, deadly, man. And I used to love it. And it wasn't, even today, it's not, obviously not the kill, it's the stalk. And even today with crows, it's fooling them. Sometimes I wish I shoot them, I wish I could wake them up and let them fly away. I don't want them, I just want to do the whole package. And the turkey, it's him coming in.
Anybody else?
Jay, may I just say one thing?
Yeah.
I guess I would differ with Bob in terms of what he says he wasn't a good businessman, but listening to Bob, he certainly was a great businessman, but I have my memories of being with Bob with decoys and listening to the training. It's always very quick. I tell a story. I was hunting with a good friend of mine and Bob, and the guy was going to be in the blind with Bob, and he really didn't hunt a lot of ducks. So he said to me, what should I do with Bob in terms of when do we shoot and everything? I said, well, you get in the blind, just ask him what the protocol is. Say, when should I get up? When should I shoot? And so anyway, he's telling the story. The single bird was coming in, and he had asked Bob. Bob says, well, I'll tell you ready, and then we shoot. So the bird's coming in, the guy gets down, all of a sudden he hears a shot, and Bob says, ready. Bird's floating on the water.
Sounds like me.
Story with Bob, you just gotta be quick and you gotta move fast.
Gotta be a little faster than that.
I'll tell you a quick story about
We had a lot of fun.
Bob with his bad knees. Bad knees.
Cramp in my stomach.
I went pheasant hunting one time. We bought my dog. He liked my dog, and shooting good birds. And sometimes they'll run on you. And I'm looking at this guy. I mean, he's running to head off the birds. And that was right.
That was a while back.
Yeah.
Not now.
Yeah. But I'm
It's a while back. It comes on you fast.
They retract it. A little bit about
Track and field days.
Bob's made, I guess, 5 shooting rigs in including several of your own shooting rigs.
Yeah, well, the last 25 years or so. Yeah.
So
Different rigs.
this rig over here is Bob's personal rig.
Well, it's not the whole rig, it's some.
No, it's just part of it.
Some.
And you can always know it, you'll know it from this point on. On the bottom, there's a hand-painted quail remark. Bob White quail.
That was my last one.
Yeah, so that's a pretty well-known rig. Done a lot of hunting over it. I mean, just amazing birds they are. This rig up top here was the Swan Creek rig. It was a diver rig. Down here, it's owned by Jimmy Baker when they used to go to Argentina, so you can see the different types of teal and shovelers and pintails that they have.
Brazilian.
Then you got the Swan Creek rig, which is Jimmy's rig up on Fisher Island. So most of them are oversized. But that was another. He's got a really good rig. This rig here is my North Dakota pothole rig. I hunt that out in North Dakota every year. And then you got he hunted crows over this hawk. He's killed a lot of crows over that hawk. And then his turkey. Bob's a hardcore turkey hunter, big time turkey hunter. He shot a lot of birds over that. But then there's some different examples. Mr. Grove Conrad, the sleeper, I think that was out of your gunning rig. Yeah. And then that pair of broadbills. The swan, you made half a dozen or so swans?
Around there.
So, yeah.
That's my last one.
Yeah. But he's made a wide range.
Too much wood for me. I'm not set up for big stuff.
The neat pieces.
It's my nieces.
I got a hen quail sitting on the nest. I was going to bring that. I forgot to bring that. But over his carving career, he's done amazing carving. Very realistic. What it's all about.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been a good ride. Get no complaints, and I still do a little bit, not much, but a little bit. But I expect if I keep on going, I'm going to lose it. Most of the old guys I knew, when they got old, when I say lose it, they just can't do the work. You just can't. My hand shakes sometimes. It's part of the game. What are you going to do? So I'll go until I can't do any. It's probably going to be lousy stuff, but you'll probably end up buying it anyway. This is the last. It ain't good, but it's the last.
I think I heard that it's the last for a while.
Well, I keep on going. So far, I didn't slip too bad. And right today, I'm going to be. I got it all planned. I'm realistic. We all get our turn.
I can honestly say during COVID, when Bob was, as most people weren't doing too much, getting out and about, and you were doing some serious carving, and I bought some birds off of him that were absolutely outstanding. I got a couple hybrids, Mallard black duck hybrids, and the teaking, the painting, the blending. I mean, absolutely the best of the best. And so that wasn't that long ago.
Some of the best. It's not the best.
All right, as a wrap up, we good on everything?
Get the hook.
Yeah. But all right, well, we really want to thank you all for coming out.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
And Mike, we really appreciate you having us. And,
Easy.
Oh, good. All right, thanks for coming.
One thing before everybody leaves, I want to say two things. One, there was some extra sandwiches, so the ladies put them in sealable bags. They're right by the door.
Oh,
Feel
good.
free to grab a sandwich for the ride home.
No crows in one bag. No crows. No.
Also,
sandwiches.
Three things. The Canvasback magazine that features Bob in the article, they're on the table in there. Feel free to take what you need. There's cases of them here. So
good.
And the very last thing is, I should have said this at the beginning. I just was trying to hurry to start it. The museum celebrates its 40th year, 26, and I think we owe a great deal to the founders of this museum. We're very fortunate to have one of them here today.
Do we ever?
So we should give a round of applause for Jim Pierce.
Oh, man.
He and a couple businessmen from town actually took an idea and made it happen.
Well, I'll say.
I remember that.
Yeah, my hat's off to
So,
him.
thank you all for coming, and we certainly hope it isn't the last time we see you all.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
An afternoon with Bob White at the Havre de Grace Decoy Museum, January 11th, 2025.